Hey, Quinn Rediker, Police Motor Training. I want to talk about your efficiency with the clutch, specifically from a clutch out position and then getting to the friction zone. I'm talking to some people, and I've been doing some trainings with people that are showing me and explaining that when they go from clutch all the way out and then they find the friction zone, they are bypassing the clutch engagement. They're passing the friction zone, fully disengaging the clutch, and then finding the friction zone that way. That is the only direction they've really worked on and gotten comfortable, finding the friction zone from a clutch fully disengaged position. And that works, no question. The problem I have with it is that it's just not efficient, because as areas within a concourse get tighter and tighter and tighter, we want to take advantage, even though there's short spaces, we want to take advantage of squeezing a little bit of extra power out of the bike, which means our clutch position comes out. And then we get right back into the friction zone. I'm not going to have time to fully disengage the clutch and then find the friction zone again. It's just not efficient. It takes longer, and if we're carrying momentum, time equals distance, and sometimes we just don't have it, or we simply won't be able to take advantage of little spaces where we can squirt a little bit of extra speed out because we're taking time to disengage the bike and then find the friction zone again. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration of areas where, hey, we have the clutch all the way out, and now we're going to find the friction zone to turn around. And over time, I'm going to tighten up that space more and more and more, and I want you to pay attention to how rapid I go from clutch out to friction zone. It's real snappy as the space starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter. And what you'll hear is the amount of time it takes me to do that will be virtually instantaneous. And you'll see I'm just not going to have time to fully disengage and then walk back out to finding the friction zone. So let's do that now. All right. So what we're going to be doing is an oval, clutch all the way out, friction zone. Now here's what I'm talking about. I'd like you to try to wean yourself off of. Clutch is out, disengage, friction zone. Let me do that again so you pay attention to this. Clutch is all the way out, disengage, friction zone. So again, I'm bypassing this friction zone in here. I'm bypassing that, disengaging, and then working my way back to it. So we have out, bypass friction zone, find friction zone, and turn. And again, if you have time, can you do that? Yeah. But now I'm going to start walking you through tighter spaces and give you my process, and you'll see that it allows me to really squeeze this bike's power out. As the spaces continue to get tighter, I can still take advantage of the power this bike has. Okay, so here we go. So, nice long space, meaning that if you use the other technique where you're bypassing the friction zone, disengaging the clutch, and then finding it again and taking off, you probably have enough time here. But now we're going to tighten up the space. You'll see the space a little tighter, right? Now keep in mind, clutch all the way out. So I want this girl to get all the power down in this tight space I have. Now this space is not super tight, so let's go tighter. Here we go. Pretty tight. We can go a lot tighter. And remember, the tighter we go, the less time I'm going to have to get sorted. That's why at some point this friction zone needs to be instantaneous. So let's go to the motor now. Now we're going to go a little tighter. Hear that? I'm just squeezing it a little bit, just a little squirt. Let's do tighter. What'd I say? 3 or 4 feet. I only have to beat you by an inch. Hear that? Just a little blast. if I can't find that friction instantaneously, if I can't find that really quick, I'm going to be wasting time eating up real estate to get set, and then ultimately what will happen is I'll look at sections of the course and I'll just say, you know what, I'm not efficient enough to let this girl eat. There's just not enough room here, and you're going to just stay in the friction zone, or you're going to slow down. I don't want you to have to slow down, and I don't want you to have to meander around the course by living in the friction zone. That's not going to help us. I want you to be able to see a little spot that you can just squirt some speed and be so efficient going from clutch out to friction zone that you can take advantage of every little section on the course and just give that little squirt. And like you heard the motor, it's just a little teeny squirt. That is because my process is clutch all the way out, friction zone, out, friction zone. And that's where I want you to get to so that you're really comfortable. And when you'll have new eyes because you'll have a new skill set when you break a course down and you'll say, there's a little 8-foot section where somebody might say, well, that's a transition area from tight to tight, so I'm going to live in the friction zone through that section. No, we're not going to do that. You're going to go through that tight section. You're going to let that clutch out, and that girl's going to eat for those 12 feet. And then you're going to get right back in the friction zone, drop into the next section, and your times are going to just tail off like crazy, and you're going to go much faster, and you're going to have even less friends than you do now. So any questions, hit me up, pleasemotortraining.com. I do offer Zoom one-on-one training sessions as well, so if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. Have a great day.